excited. And those of us have been using Teamzy for a while. We want to sharpen it and ask you some questions at the end, but we just want to glean from you. You're the master.
Well, thank you. Well, I'm excited to be here. And again, just to introduce myself formally and officially, I'm Eric Johnson, creator and CEO of Teamzy. We're going to have some fun tonight. I am going to show you guys Teamzy. Those of you who haven't used it a lot, or maybe you guys, have been using it, you want to learn some new stuff, as Teri said. We're going to go through, I'll do a full quick walkthrough of Teamzy, show you how to set it up and how to crush a power hour in Teamzy. But I also want to give you guys a little bit extra, just a little extra. I want to give you some training on relationship marketing, on really the approach. And it's so funny because for those of you who are on early, Mackenzie and Teri were just chatting, and Mackenzie was complaining about some of the really cheesy things that people in this business do. And so it's really important that you guys understand the approach and the philosophy and the system of relationship marketing. It's a specific approach to the business, and that's what we built Teamzy to help you do. So I'm going to teach you all about it tonight, the basics of it. And then we'll go into Teamzy and I'll show you how to apply those concepts so that you can get everything you need to get done in your day done in less than an hour each day. That's the whole idea of Teamzy. It helps you get really organized. You can get this done in less than an hour so that you can go about your life, right? Okay, so let's dive right in. Let's see, I've got one person in the waiting room. We'll take them out. All right. So this is here's our topic: systemize your success with relationship marketing to become a power hour boss. So there's three pieces, right? One is systemize. You need a system to follow. I'm going to teach you mine. It's relationship marketing. And we're going to help you become a power hour boss. You'll be able to do this in less than an hour a day. Okay, pretty cool. Okay, so a little bit of my backstory. My background is not direct sales or network marketing. I'm not one of those gurus. I've been doing this for a million years. I come from a professional coaching and consulting industry. I've been a business coach 20 years. Oh my gosh, 20 years teaching people how to build a business based on relationships. Must be doing something right. People keep paying me, right? But about 7 years ago, I just started playing with a little bit with network marketing because I was bored. I was bored in my career. I mean, I got into a place where I was kind of at the top of my career. There was nowhere left to grow. I wanted to do something to kind of channel some of that entrepreneurial energy. And frankly, a couple other things were going on. I wanted to make some more money. Anybody motivated by maybe making some more income? I wanted some more income. I live in Southern California, and so we could never buy a bigger house. We kept having kids. We could never grow a home in California. It was too expensive. I needed to find a way to have another income. But the biggest thing was, here's a shot of my family here. I wanted to be with my family. I really wanted more time with my family. And I was constantly working. I was constantly focused on my career, working to provide a life for my family. But that life didn't include me because I was always at work. Does that make sense? I know probably some of you guys can relate to this. I wanted the financial freedom, and I also wanted the flexibility of time to be able to be with my kids. To be able to do like I did today. I went out for 3 hours today to an open house for a new preschool for my youngest. And then I come back here to talk to you guys tonight. How cool. We're living the dream, right? But I was just looking for a way to have some more time flexibility, some more income. And here's what I kind of discovered. A couple of things. One, it's an amazing business opportunity. I mean, you can start a business with no investment. And I always tell people, if you think the little bit of money you have to spend to buy your first order of products is an investment, then you don't know anything about starting a business. It requires no investment to start this business. The challenge for me was, when would I do it? How could I do it? When will I shoehorn this into my busy schedule? And so I started really looking for some tools and software that would help me to get those income producing activities done efficiently. I only had maybe an hour a day I could work on the business. And when I realized that nobody had bothered to build any of those tools for us, I built Teamzy. So that's kind of the Teamzy story, how it came to be. I was like, I cannot believe people are doing this. And as we get into talking about relationship marketing, the next thing I discovered was what people were doing to build this business was so cheesy, in my opinion, that we had to start teaching people how to build real relationships, which is kind of another thing that lit a fire under me. But just to kind of give you some idea of the history of Teamzy, just 4.5 years ago, we launched Teamzy. And in that time, we've had more than 120,000 network marketers use Teamzy, which has been amazing. The last October? The last 10 months, have been an incredible time for us with our relationship with Xyngular. And I am really sorry. I've apologized to everybody for our contribution in breaking the system and helping you guys sell way more inventory than the company can keep up with. But those things are behind us now. We'll move forward. That's a good problem to have, isn't it? Awesome. And just to kind of give you an idea of results, Xyngular folks are getting crazy results using Teamzy. I can't even, what's funny is I can't see it, but I think it says, does it say 31 customers? Can you guys see my slide? 36 customers? Holy moly. I mean, such great results. So averaging 36 customers and 14 new recruits to the team over 90 days. That is so good. And I have to tell you guys this, honestly, these results vary from network to network. And as of now, Xyngular people are getting the best results. Pretty cool. Yeah, Teri, that deserves a good fist pump right there. It's good. Those results are unreal, much better than we expected even to have. And so I'm very excited for you guys. I'm going to show you tonight exactly what I mean. What is an active user doing? I'm going to show you so you have an idea. It's something everyone could do though in less than an hour, honestly. Okay. But first I want to talk about this concept. What is relationship marketing? Relationship marketing. This is kind of a buzzword that I feel is being misused a lot. So let me clarify what I mean. First off, it's a philosophy of doing business that puts relationships and people ahead of sales and products. It's a philosophy of doing business that puts relationships and people ahead of sales and products. This is kind of a filter. Anything that you want to do in your business, if you think about it, how will this be received? Does it look like I'm trying to get a sale more important than my relationship? Then it's not going to fit into relationship marketing. Make sense? The second piece is this isn't some abstract feel-good concept like relationships, yay. This is a proven system. It's a proven system we follow, always knowing what to do next. I mean, how could I support all these beautiful children for 20 years teaching a system that doesn't work? This system is proven, it works all the time. Also, relationship marketing at its heart is a lead generation system. It's a lead generation system. That's a system that initiates consumer interest or inquiry into the products or services of a business. That's a system that initiates consumer interest or inquiry into the products or services of a business. Guys, this is you don't have a job to sell Xyngular products. You're a business owner. And the business you're in is lead generation. You're in the lead generation business. This is your job. Your job is to initiate consumer interest or inquiry, right? On a daily basis. We need to generate leads. We need to initiate that interest. We got to get people asking about this. How do we do it? Why do we do it? Next principle I want you guys to get about this. Developing and deepening relationships is your paramount duty as a business owner. Developing and deepening relationships is your paramount duty as a business owner. It's not to recruit, it's not to build a team, it's not to train, it's not to sell. It's to build relationships. So your business is to generate leads, in other words, meeting people. And your function is to build relationships with those people. Meet people, build relationships with people. It's that simple. And if that's where your focus is, you're going to do great. Because what do we do with relationships? Why are relationships so important? Let me tell you why. Because we turn relationships into advocates. We turn relationships into advocates by investing time and providing outstanding service. I have people coming to me that are brand new in this business, that want to learn how to build a business. And I have people coming to me that have been making beyond 6 figures for years in this business who are burnt out and sick of beating the bushes to build their business. What an advocate does, advocates, when you build advocates in your business, it becomes a joy-filled, self-sustaining growth engine. An advocate is somebody so excited about your mission that they feel compelled to tell other people about what you're doing. Pretty cool, right? Now think about it. All of you are advocates for different companies. Just because you love how they treat you, you love what they do for you. Some of you are my advocates, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for that, right? But this is what we're after. We want to build relationships and build advocates. I like to talk about creating an army of advocates. You're recruiting your army of advocates. Okay. Next principle, relationship marketing depends on trust. Relationship marketing depends on trust. In other words, if you're a jerk, this ain't gonna work, okay? And it's just really important because we live in an industry that does kind of the tricky stuff. Am I right? The whole bait and switch, the trick, the let's try to create curiosity, or let's try to, hook them with this, or here's a script that works. That'll manipulate them into closing. And how many of you guys like that makes you feel so icky, right? The thoughts of that. But that's our industry. But I want you to know that this system depends on trust. You can't do anything disingenuous or it all falls apart. Okay, but trust makes the work fun. When people trust you even just a little bit, you don't have to convince them. You don't have to sell them. You get right to helping. You get right to helping. And that's what we're here for, right? To help people. Also, trust removes the ickiness. You will never be seen as the icky salesperson if your focus is on building trust with people. Anybody worried about coming across as the icky salesperson? For all of you guys worried about coming across icky or hating rejection, that's me, right? You're gonna love this system. That's me. I don't like rejection either. And they tell you I gotta tell you guys a little side note. The side notes are the best part of the presentation, right, Teri? Okay, so when I was 21, I got recruited into this network marketing company and I went to the convention. And this was like back in the day when you bought, a garage full of stuff that you then had to go sell. I got brought to this convention and they gave me a t-shirt with a rhinoceros head on it. And they told me, to be successful in this business, you have to grow thick skin like a rhino. That was just code word for you're going to have to deal with a lot of rejection. So I didn't make it. I didn't make it in that one. Can you imagine? It's not me. I don't like rejection. I like this way. The other piece is when you're working with trust, you get to go for yes. Instead of this go for no stuff, dealing with rejection, growing the thick skin of a rhino. No, you don't get rejected all the time. You're helping people. You're building relationships and you're going for yes over time. You're going for yes over time. So how do you do it? How do you build the trust? I'm going to teach you guys the basics. Even if you don't use Teamzy ever, which hopefully you will because it's awesome, you will have these and you can apply these into your business immediately. Okay, so there's four essential ingredients to building trust. Let me give them to you quickly and then I'll break them out for you. Number one is chemistry. Okay, chemistry. Number two is character. Number three is competence. Okay, competence. Number four, consistency. Chemistry, character, competence, consistency. Okay, you got them? All right. So chemistry is where you have common ground with someone. What is it about you they can relate to? Okay, chemistry is where you have common ground with someone. What is it about you they can relate to? A really important concept I want you guys to understand. You probably already know this intuitively, but I just want you to hear it and write it down and know it. People want to do business with friends. Now, sometimes we're more motivated by the negative. No one wants to do business with someone they don't like. People want to do business with friends. There's how many people right now representing Xyngular? They could choose you or they could choose any of them. They want to do business with the person that they feel comfortable with. So you need to take some time to figure out what you have in common with people. First thing you want to do, build rapport, find out what you have in common. Just ask some questions. What is it about, I guarantee you guys, if you ask somebody 5 questions, you'll find something you have in common. It's amazing. With social media, we get a shortcut. You can just look and see, right? You can usually look and see what you have in common. But it's important right away. What is it about you they can relate to? Number 2, character. Character is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you're relatable. Character is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you're relatable. So a couple things here, guys. First off, we think of character as something that we own. My character. I'm a person of character. But I want you to forget that because we don't have character. Character is an action we do. It's something we do. It's an action we have to take every day. Character is not something we have. It's something we do. You have to express character on a daily basis. Okay, and it's how we show care for others. When you post on social media, does this express care for my audience, my followers? When you take care of a customer, are you showing how much you care for them? It's important, right? It's everything. The way you drive your car. Are you being respectful of others? Do you return the shopping carts? Do you guys say shopping carts where you are from? Or do you say carriages or something else? Trolleys. There's all these different shopping carts is what I say. Do you return the dang shopping cart? To me, that's a big character thing. I joke, but this stuff all matters 24/7. It's your character. The way you care for others, this is what's going to grow your business. When people know you're a person of character, they're comfortable doing business with you. And you notice that the relate to is in both of these. You need to be relatable. People need to understand how you're like them. The reason I put this and that you are relatable in this definition is because I work with so many leaders who have created a successful business already. And they get so caught up in what they think is going to attract people. And it does things like, oh, I just got my new trip to, I got my trip paid for to the Caribbean. I just got my new free car given to me by the company. And they forget to remind people who they were when they started, that they were pulling their hair out, busy mom, trying to make ends meet, right? They forget to be relatable. They get caught up in the trappings of success. So this is important. You need to show care, and you need to continue letting people understand who you are as a person, what you've overcome and what you continue to struggle with so that they understand and can relate to you. Chemistry, character. Number 3 is competence. Competence is when you demonstrate you're good at what you do and you're a business person. Competence is when you demonstrate you're good at what you do and you're a business person. Like I come to you and I need to lose some weight. Do you know how to help me with that? How many of you guys would say, yes, I know how to help you with that? Are you competent? Do you know how these products work? Do you know what's appropriate for me based on my situation? Like, do I feel like I can really trust you? Or are you just trying to sell me something? Like Mackenzie's friend who tried to sell her everything from her catalog today after connecting for 12 seconds. So, right? Are you just trying to sell me something? Or are you really competent about what you're doing? Are you passionate about helping people lose weight? If so, maybe I want you to help me. Does this make sense? The second piece is, okay, great. That's how I decide to be your customer. But to join your team, that's a whole nother thing. Do I believe that you can mentor me in this business to be successful? Do I trust you as a business person? Or are you just my goofy cousin who I've seen with your pants on backwards too many times? How do you teach me, if that is you, how do you show me that you're competent now or that you're growing in competence? So this is so important, you guys. You need to be demonstrating your competence. Do you see that keyword demonstrate again? You need to be demonstrating that competence on social media, in conversations. Everything that you do, you need to be demonstrating that competence so people see it. Now, you may not have it yet. You could be brand new. You might have signed up tonight and someone said, jump on the Teamzy call. Great, here I am. You're clueless. That's okay. Because as you're new, you need to leverage the team's competence. Hey, this is my team. They're amazing. They're competent. They know everything about this. I have them on speed dial. You have access to them too. And then as you progress, you share the journey. I just learned this. Did you know this? How many of you guys knew this about the gut biome? And did you know this about nutrition? And did you know this about being hydrated? So as you're learning and gaining competence, you share that so people see that you're learning and changing and growing. Does it make sense? It's so important. When you hit that milestone, oh my gosh, I just got a free, in the beginning, it's stuff like, hey, I just got a free backpack and cool Yeti cooler from my company. How cool. And then it goes on to, wow, they just gave me a free vacation. And oh my gosh, they just, so it's like the people start to see, wow, this person's starting to actually become a business person, hit business milestones. Does this make sense? So you need to be sharing that competence. If you want people to believe in you and trust you as you go. Chemistry, find out where you have in common. Show your character by constantly caring for others, putting others before the sale. Competence, showing people that you are growing in this business, becoming an expert on your products, and becoming an incredible business person. There's a principle behind these real quick before we jump to number 4. Here's the principle. When somebody's going to do business with you, they only really care about these 3 things. Can I trust you? Do you care about me? And are you good at what you do? Can I trust you? Do you care about me? And are you good at what you do? Now, for those of you guys who have been doing this for a while in your business and you really are looking for the nuggets tonight, here's a nugget for you. Think about this. When somebody believes these 3 things to be true, they're your advocate. They are your advocate. They will go to the wall for you. They will, when they hear somebody talking about losing weight or getting healthy, like people that don't even know, they're going to interrupt and say, you need to talk to my friend. Okay. When somebody's not sure about any of these questions, they're not sure, they will raise objections. What about this? What about this ingredient in your product? I noticed there's soy in that product. Or, you know, they're going to start giving you these random objections. Wow, this costs a little bit more than the big gulp at 7-Eleven, you know, right? So objections mean they're not sure about these questions. Okay. Now, of course, you're going to work with those objections and with love, walk them through those objections. When they know one of these is not true, they will refuse to do business with you. Now, think about it. Think about people or companies you have fired. It's because of one or more of these. I've thrown this principle up in this presentation a million times. I've never really talked about it like this, but I don't know why, I just felt like telling you guys this. So when they believe these, you've got an advocate. When they don't believe these, they'll never do business with you. And when they're not sure, you'll get objections. And that just shows you where you are on the process of building trust with them. Make sense? Okay, number 4, consistency. This is the part where we actually have to do some work. This is the part where we actually have to do some work. And I'm glad, Mackenzie, I'm glad you're on the call, especially today, because maybe in the Q&A, you can tell them what it feels like to do this consistently. It's kind of crazy, but good. But consistency is where the magic happens. Applying what we're going to teach you today consistently will create massive momentum in your business. Now, here's a principle about consistency. People respect consistency and desire it for themselves. People respect consistency and desire it for themselves. Connecting consistently, doing things consistently, they help you, but they also attract others to you. They attract others to you. There's nothing more attractive than seeing somebody else doing positive things consistently. They want to be around it. They want to be part of it. They join the team and then they love being part of the team because now they're in a community of other people working to be consistent in these positive areas. Does it make sense? So being consistent helps you and it attracts people to you. It builds your team. And I want to talk to you about this really quick before we jump into Teamzy. This is as Zig Ziglar used to say, the checkup from the neck up. In fact, let me just stop and look at your faces real quick. Just real quick on this. If you got your cameras off, turn them on if you're dressed. You have no idea what happens when you do a lot of Zooms. You see all kinds of stuff. Okay. So how many of you guys would you say you're consistent? With your products, you're consistent. You use them consistently. It's part of your daily ritual. You're out, people see you doing it. You're a product of the product. Okay, good. Because I'm here to tell you, if you're not using the products, this is not going to work for you. Right? Nobody wants to buy the thing you're not using. Okay, how many of you guys are consistent about social media? You're at least daily in there sharing. People know what you're doing. You're out there, you're sharing your journey with others. Okay, so that's important. That's an important piece of it. And what I'm going to teach you tonight is going to, if you're doing even the basic game on social media, what I'm going to share with you tonight is going to make that go up times 10, right? Because we're going to connect personally with people and it's going to all support each other unbelievably. But it's so important that we need to be sharing. We can't be in secret. How many of you guys your business is still a secret? Hardly anyone knows about it. Isn't that kind of, I mean, think about this. It sounds weird, but it's very common. People keep it a secret and they're wondering why they're not doing great, right? So you can't have a secret business. It can't be secret. This is part of, and we're going to talk a little bit tonight about being passionate about what you do and presenting it that way. But it's important that everyone's going to know, hopefully by the end of next week, after watching this, everyone's going to know that you're in business. Okay, but here's the real important piece. How many of you are consistently in touch with the relationships, with all the people you know? This is what really matters, is the consistent being in touch with people. When I first started my business, I posted on social media. I got a bunch of easy wins. It was like, oh, this is easy. I did some posts on social media. People signed up. It started great. And then once you have those 2% of the people who love your posts, now what? And I realized I needed to be connecting personally with people. Does this make sense? So let me get back here. It's important that we are as consistent about staying in touch with people as we are about posting on social media. Okay. This is where the rubber hits the road. Relationship marketing, relationship building is a contact sport, which means you need to be in regular contact with people. Look, if you hired me as a consultant for your business, I'd say the secret is easy. You need to stay in contact, regular contact with every single person you know and all the people you're meeting. That's all. Now, I know your time is scarce. That seems overwhelming. That's why we built Teamzy, to facilitate that, to make it easy for you to do in a small amount of time. But it's important. Here's the principle. And this is the big principle of the night. Make sure you write this down if you're taking notes. Investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. And that's important because deepening relationships is how you really build a business that is self-sustaining, fun, and joyous. Okay, now I'm going to give you a quick example on this, and then we'll jump into Teamzy. How many of you have ever received a card or letter from somebody you care about that had a handwritten message in it? Something that when you read that message, it was like, oh my gosh, you got me right in the heart. Anybody just total sap like me? Like, I love the cards. I'm the teary-eyed, blustering person. For me, the card is more important than the present. My wife's like, just give me the present and a hug, babe. I don't need the card, but I like the card. So you guys all received those. All right, if you've never received a card like that from someone you love, put your address in the chat and we'll write you one tonight because it's important. Quick question. So you thought of one or two cards when I said that. Do you still have them? How many of you guys have kept them? You have a special stash somewhere where you've kept these. They're hard to get rid of, aren't they? You know, we treasure these. I mean, how many of you kind of have a big stash somewhere? Like a big stash. Yeah. It's kind of like, and then you move and you want to throw them away, but you can't bring yourself to do it. You know what's amazing about this is people treasure these so much that often when people we love pass away, we go through their things. What do we keep? We keep the cards and letters still. Like, we keep them. They have value even beyond our own lives, right? It's incredible. Okay, here's another example. Maybe some of you have received one of these. This is a happy birthday postcard that I got from my life insurance sales representative. Have you guys ever received one of these from somebody you do business with or an acquaintance, right? Yeah. Now, first off, how many of these evoke tears of love from you? None, right? Do you guys keep these? Do these go in the special place? Do you think that this happy birthday postcard from my life insurance salesperson will be kept by my son Cruz after I'm gone and be the bookmark in the family Bible? Probably not. The only reason this hasn't been recycled is so I can make fun of it when talking to teams like this, right? This is not valued. Now let's just talk about why. What's the difference? It's nice, right? It's a happy birthday message. It even has some handwriting on the back, though it's printed. It's not handwritten. So the principle is, if you want to deepen a relationship, you need to invest time and connect personally. So this required no investment of time. It's automated. So we put no value on it. This required no investment of time, so we put no value on it. It's not personal. It doesn't even have my name on it, by the way. It just says, dear you. It's not personal, so it doesn't make a connection. Make sense? This is important because you will be so seduced by the whole concept of automated marketing. Make it automated. Make it so I don't have to do anything. But what happens is people don't value that. Does this make sense? People don't value that. They just they go, that was nice, and they toss it. I have people message me all the time and say, Eric, I have to click 3 different times to log something in Teamzy. How can you do it so I don't have to click anything? It's like, that 3 or 4 seconds of investment is what is making this valuable to people. You just need to understand it. Now, you don't need to invest an hour. You don't need to handwrite a letter every day, but just sending somebody a message one-on-one personally, that's to them, it makes their day. It totally makes their day. And it gives you an opportunity to really have conversations with people. Does this make sense? And I don't mean a cheesy script message like, hey girl, that's generic. I mean, personalizing it to somebody. Okay. So let's dive back over there real quick. Just a little side note on this. when I was in my career job before I started my own businesses, I used to write a certain amount of notes, handwritten notes to clients every week, and they would write me notes back. And I had, in the desk, you have like the deep drawer that was for the filing cabinet, in your desk. I had that full of notes from clients, handwritten notes from clients, completely full after, a decade of working there. And so this was like my thing when I was during the recession, I was laid off. And when I packed up my desk, I left the desk full of personal handwritten notes from clients, thousands of them. That was my little piece of poetic justice leaving behind, right? Not that anyone cared, the janitor just threw them away, but get the idea. People do keep handwritten notes. Okay, so here's our principle. Investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Make sure you guys keep that and internalize that kind of as a guiding principle. Now, real quick, we're going to dive into Teamzy right now. All of these concepts in relationship marketing. How many of you guys it's resonating? Let me see my people. Okay, good. But having the approach is one thing, but you got to have a system. You have to have a system to follow. Not only does a system help you do things consistently, but it's something you can duplicate with your team, right? But you need a system that helps you stay in contact with all of your relationships. You need to know when to contact people, when not to contact them, honestly, like not have to think too much about it. Just know what you're going to say. How many of you guys stare at the screen way too long thinking about what to say to somebody? So just know what you're going to say to people so that you can move quickly and efficiently, and make sure that nobody ever falls through the cracks. You want to see it? It's Teamzy. Let's see it. Okay, here we go. Okay. Here we go. All right, so first off, I want you guys to know, if you're not already using Teamzy, you go to teamzy.com/Xyngular, and you can get a free trial for 30 days. Okay, teamzy.com/Xyngular, get a free trial for 30 days, no strings attached. It's awesome. You use it for free, get some momentum, do everything I'm teaching you tonight. When you're done with your 30 days, we have a special deal, a special corporate relationship with Xyngular, so you get like 35% off, up to 45% off if you do an annual subscription. Pretty awesome deal. Okay, we'll talk about that at the end. Once you've logged into Teamzy in your free trial, this is the first thing you'll see. This is the setup wizard. The setup wizard is just a few screens in Teamzy that make setting this up so easy. If you're not techie like me, I'm really not a techie person. I don't like anything that makes me think too hard, technology-wise. You can do this. So if you're worried about technology, it's something you can definitely do. There's a little video from me we're going to skip because you have me live today. But this kind of sets everything up for Teamzy. The first thing we want to do is set an income goal. How much do you want to earn over the next year? Okay, or how much do you want your income level to be a year from now is a better way for me to phrase it. So a year from now, I want to be, you can see I set my goal at 150,000 a year. Okay, so when I first started using Teamzy, that was my goal. That was my salary that I was trying to replace with my business. I wanted 150,000 a year. Okay, great. Now you can move your goal up, higher or lower, depending on what you want, just by sliding this little dot. Okay. And what Teamzy does, you'll notice that it changes those daily targets based on your goal. So at 150, my daily target is to connect with 9 prospects, 6 current or past customers, and 4 distributors on my team. Okay. 19 people. That's my goal. 19 people a day, 5 days a week for 12 months. And I'll get to my $150,000 in income. How cool is that? You actually know exactly what to do based on your goal. There's no wondering, do I need to do more? Do I need to do less? No, you just need to consistently do this. Okay, so once you've got that set up, click on continue. And now it configures Teamzy to your goals. It's specific. Every one of you has a customized dashboard. The next step is we're going to get all your contacts into Teamzy in one place. So forget looking for sticky notes or pads of paper you can't find or spreadsheets you weren't sure how to update anyways when you started. It'll all be in one place. It lives in the cloud, which means you can get it from your phone. You can get it from your computer, like wherever you are. You don't need to write someone's name down on a napkin. You can pull out your phone and put them right in Teamzy. Right? You can put them right in Teamzy as you go. Now, the other thing that's cool about this, besides being able to get your phone contacts, your back office contacts, your Facebook friends, all that stuff in Teamzy, is that Teamzy organizes them so that you don't have to think about it. It cycles your list for you so that you're in contact with everybody without anyone ever falling through the cracks. It's super cool. We'll see that in a second. Okay, so once we got everything in there, you're good to go. By the way, I just want you guys to know, if you, for any reason, need help importing your contacts or setting up, see this little purple help button right here on the bottom? You just click that and send a little message. My team will jump right on it, okay? We can even set up a live Zoom with you where somebody one-on-one walks you through it, okay? So if you're tech averse, we've got people to help you. Okay, so here's my Teamzy dashboard. This is the desktop version because I'm on my computer. If you're looking at this on your phone, it's just going to kind of squish a little bit, okay? So a couple things I want to show you really quick. This is of course, the Xyngular customized version of Teamzy. So you guys have a special version, which is really cool. Here's my goals for today based on that setup. So my goal is to connect with 9 of my prospects. You can see I haven't done any yet, still 0, but we'll get there in a second. I need to connect with 6 of my customers and 4 of my distributors today. What do I mean by connect with? All I mean is I just want to say hello and make their day. Okay? The goal is just to say hello and make someone's day. And I want you to think, I want you to live here. I call it the make someone's day mindset. Write it down, the make someone's day mindset. We're not going to do anything icky. I just want you, when people come up, I'm going to show you how to do it. We're just going to send them a message. The goal is to say hello and make their day. Why? Why do we do this? Because this starts conversations without getting rejected, without turning people off, without making people feel like you're painting a target on their back. It's just starting conversations. Does it make sense? So I'm going to create conversations with 9 prospects, 6 customers, 4 of my team members. I also have a goal right here. The next goal is to share 3 times today. So we'll talk about that. But a share, that's when I'm sharing the Xyngular business opportunity with somebody, or when I'm sharing product solutions with somebody who needs them. Okay, my goal is to do that just 3 times. I'm going to reach out to make 19 people's day. And out of those 19, I'm hoping that 3 of them will result in an opportunity to share. Why? Because I'm not going to push it on people who haven't expressed the need yet. Make sense? People are like, people are not everyone's at the same stage of readiness. And if you try to go for it before they're ready, then what you're doing is putting the sale before the person. Make sense? Not the person before the sale. And then the last goal here is just to add new people to Teamzy. You can see I added 1 today. I've got 2 left. So those are my goals. Now I'm going to scroll down a little bit and show you this Power Hour module. This is really cool. So this allows me to do my Power Hour in an hour. Okay. Now, Teamzy is a CRM. Do you guys know what CRM means? It stands for Customer Relationship Manager or Contact Relationship Manager. It's a type of software. It's like an electronic Rolodex, right? So this has all of my contacts, all their information, all of my conversations are logged. I know what the names of their dogs are, when their wedding anniversaries are, all that stuff's in here, right? But it takes all that data for me and automatically creates lists on the dashboard so that I can connect with people without thinking or planning. How many of you guys stare at your list of names and go, who should I connect with? This takes all the thinking and planning out. So on the Power Hour, here's how it works. I've got 4 lists: prospects, customers, distributors on my team, and my follow-ups list, okay? On the right-hand side is where I log the message I send so that it's tracked. No homework. I track it as I go, okay? So let me show you how this works. When we do our Power Hour, we want to get in and out, get back to our life. So what we're going to do is we're going to start left to right, start with prospects. Remember, my goal is 9, okay? Your goal might be different. First person on my list is Teri. I'm going to send her a message. What's my goal? Just to make her day. Remember that, just to make her day. Now, we launched Teamzy and people were like, when you do your train call, Eric, you make it sound so easy and then I don't know what to say. So I put all my scripts in Teamzy for you. They're here for you to use. Even on a free trial, you have my scripts. Okay, so if you're not sure what to say, you go right here to scripts and click. These are not sales scripts, by the way. These are just connect scripts. So I'm going to send her a Facebook message. So I'll click on that. And I'm just going to pick the first one on the list. Here's how it reads in case you can't see it. It says, "Hi, Jane. Just stopping by to say hello. How are you? I hope your day is awesome." Simple, make someone stay script. So let's copy that. And then what I'll do is I'm just going to paste it in here so that I can do some editing. Obviously, Jane is not her name, so put her name in there. Okay. And maybe some emojis. Let me put this here. There we go. couple of emojis, you know, I like emojis. Who's emoji addicted here? Let me see. It's okay to admit it. A couple of emojis. Now, a couple things here. There's already a lot of psychology in these scripts. They're made to be non-threatening and friendly, right? But also a couple things. Always put their name in the message. Don't think it's a shortcut to say, hey, sweetie, or hey, girl. That just makes it impersonal. So the first time you initiate a conversation with somebody via Facebook Messenger, text, whatever, the first time, each time, always use their first name. Okay, little pro tip. And I definitely highly recommend using emojis because that makes it feel like you actually did it. Okay, so I just copied this so that I can go send it in Facebook. You have to actually, if you're using Messenger or whatever, you actually have to use Messenger to send the message, but it's no big deal. I've got it open right here in another tab. And I'm just gonna look her up. There she is. Great. Message her. And look, I'm just gonna paste that message in. It's ready to go. Boom, send. Don't overthink it, just get on the send side. Now toggle back to Teamzy and we'll log this. That was a Facebook message. See the blue button, log connect? That's how you do it. And it's done. Now look what happened. She moved off my list slid up. Okay? And I've got up here, I've got one done, this blue circle starting to fill in. Next person on my list is Jay, and I'm gonna send her a message. You could just use the same script, still on the clipboard, just paste it in there, change the name. Now you've got your emojis and everything there. Okay? See how easy this is? And you get going really fast. So I'm just gonna toggle over here to Jay, look her up. There she is. Send her a message. Boom, send, done. Logged. So you just toggle back and forth, log it and move on, done. Now I've got 2 done, 7 left. Next one's Cora. Do you see how this works? Cora will just do the same thing. Okay. Good. So I'm not going to send it to her, but you get the idea. So we would just go send that to her, boom, move on. So, and now I've got 3 done. So you're going to work down that prospects list until that circle's all the way blue. When your goal is done, that circle will be blue. Then you go to the next list, which is customers. Okay, customers. So we're going to do the same thing with our customers. We just start messaging them. Don't get stuck on thinking or analysis paralysis. Just go to scripts and go. Okay, there's some great scripts here for reaching out to customers. Something like this. You're doing so great. I'm proud of you. Congratulations on. Is this a great one to send? How many of you have clients, customers who've lost some weight? Is there a better way to ask them about Xyngular than to say congratulations on losing 10 pounds? Honestly, it's huge. I love this one. Here's a simple one if you haven't talked to them in a while. It's just, hi John, how are you enjoying what are the products they're using? How are you enjoying your trimmed down trio? Please send me an update. Let me know how I can be of help. Okay, just simple scripts to stay in touch with your customers. Here's my favorite one. Hi Jane, just checking in to see if there's anything I can do to make your day. This script has always been a huge one. People respond amazingly, but I would say during the era of COVID-19 and the political craziness that's going on, this script cuts through to people's hearts so quickly. You'd be amazed. Have any of you guys been using this script with people? I mean, it's amazing the responses. You really, I mean, just when you're just really trying to help people make their day, like it blows them away. So look, let's say I got that script. Okay, great. It's exactly the same, guys. You're just going to change the name and send them the message, okay? And you're gonna work your way down your customer list the same way. The circle's starting to turn pink until you hit your goal. Now, real quick on this, because I know I'm using it a lot of my time. This is super important. And I don't want to step on anyone's toes, leadership-wise at Xyngular. But what I have found working with, I've worked with now over 100,000 people on Zooms like this. Isn't that crazy? Talking to so many people that often there's like a complicated, someone's like, here's the perfect way to follow up with your customers. And it's really complicated. It's like you sign them up and then on the 7th, the 14th, the 22nd, and the whatever day you follow on, and it gets real complicated. I haven't found anybody who actually keeps up with those systems consistently. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of grace. If you put your customers in Teamzy and rank them 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, whatever, and just when they come up, connect, you'll actually be doing better than 99% of leaders in this industry. because you'll be in regular contact with your customers, right? Cool, right? But here's the thing I want you guys to understand. Being in regular contact with your customers is a key part of this business. First off, I mean, it's good service. How many of you guys think to yourselves, I want to provide great service? Right, okay, good. So that's a piece of it. How many of you guys right now kind of wish you did a better job of staying in touch with customers? Yeah, so that's the same thing. That's two sides of the same coin, right? So we're gonna take care of that. The second thing though that's amazing is this, and this is probably why you guys have seen such an amazing growth the first part of this year. It's concurrent with the whole Teamzy craze. It's not coincidental. I know you guys had some new releases of some products. Coincidentally, a lot of people using Teamzy, because when you're in regular contact with customers, statistically, they order more product and they retain longer. When you're in regular contact with customers, statistically, they order more product and retain longer. What does this mean? It means that all the customers you already have suddenly are ordering more every month. And you're getting less cancellations. How many of you guys would like to sign up for that? Team leaders, picture your whole team doing that. It's awesome, it's huge. The third reason why you need to be in regular contact with customers, and those of you guys who have taken my bootcamp know we spent a whole week working on these skills, is that, well, first of all, let me just ask you, can you think of one customer that you love and it's just like, if I could just clone this person 100 times, I'd be good. You guys all have somebody like that? Now, where do you go find those people? Have you thought about where to find more people like that? And so, don't worry, I'm going to tell you, I won't make you work for it. The best place to find a great new customer is from a current customer. The best place to find a great customer is from a current customer. Okay, so let's just talk about this for a second. You've got customers, and all of you guys thought of at least one, who are getting great results and they're just loving it, right? They're loving it. They're loving you. They're loving the products. They're loving their new lease on life. This is great. And this is why you're in the business. It feels so good to help somebody like that. So when you have people like this, what are they doing? I guarantee you they are talking about Xyngular with their friends and family. Oh my gosh, Teri, you're looking so amazing. What are you doing? I'm doing this thing called Xyngular. They are telling their friends and family about Xyngular. Guaranteed. This is what human beings do. Unless you have non-human customers. They are talking about it. Now, here's a stat you guys should know. 80% of North Americans say they make purchasing decisions based on the recommendation of their friends. And you guys, that's intuitively makes sense, right? 80% of people, they make their purchasing decisions based on the recommendation of a friend. So your customers telling their friends about Xyngular and the great experience they're having, those people are very likely to make the purchase based on that recommendation. Not based on your social media game, not based on Xyngular Corporate's amazing marketing, not based on anything to do with the products, based on that person's recommendation. Are you guys with me? Your job now is to get them to introduce that person to you. Because that's the part they don't get intuitively. Your customers aren't going, oh, I need to introduce you to my person. They're just saying, Xyngular's awesome. It's great. And their friends are Googling Xyngular. Does it make sense? You need to get them to introduce you to their friends. And you can't ask for that if you're not in regular. First step is be in regular contact. Otherwise, you're going to sound like a cheese ball when you say, please introduce me to your friends. But if you're in regular contact, how are you? Is there anything you can do to make your day? Then I can just say, hey, Teri, I know you've been getting great results and have been loving the products. And she's going to say, yeah, I have been. And I would say to her, and I'm sure you've most likely been telling friends and family about what you're doing. I'm sure there's a few of them who've even got some interest in learning more. So before I get too busy this month, I wanted to make sure I connected with you to see if there was anybody that you care about that needs more info. I wanted to make sure I get them prioritized on my schedule. And right? Does this make sense? And don't ask me to say it twice because it comes out of my mouth a little different each time, but you get the idea. And she's going to say, well, actually, I said, well, can you think of anybody? Is there anybody that you can think of that needs more info? She'll say, well, actually, I was talking to Cindy and, she's been asking me what I'm doing. I said, great. Would you mind introducing me to Cindy? Whatever's easiest for you, a group chat, group text, and I'll get her some more info. Do you guys see how powerful this is? Don't ask her to tell, well, make sure you tell Cindy all about me. I'll mail you some business cards you can throw in the trash can, never give to anybody. No. Could you introduce me to her? No big deal, group text. I'll get her some info, okay? Guys, this is the #1 way to grow your business. There is no better way to grow your business than just having some great customers and talking to them. What do you think I've been teaching for 20 years? Not just in this business, every business. Every business, car dealerships, real estate brokers, attorneys, doctors, massage therapists. I've coached them all. This is what I've taught them. Take great care of your customers. You stay in regular contact. You get introduced to their friends. This is how you grow your business. By the way, it's network marketing's backbone. Does this make sense? It's not being taught anywhere. I just need you guys to know this. You just need to be in regular contact with your customers, and then things start to fall into place for you. Now, what happens when Teri comes back to me and says, yeah, actually, I've got my friend Cindy, my friend Kate, my friend Betty, all of them need information. Great, throw up a group chat. Let me meet them. Now I'm talking to her friends. Guess what? Her friends trust me now. Why do they trust me? They don't know me. They trust me because Teri trusts me. When a friend introduces you, you have now been lent their trust. So I don't have to spend 6 months building trust, like if I met you on Instagram. You already trust me because Teri trusts me. So now I'm talking to Teri's friends, professionally, listening, asking questions, finding out what they need, seeing how I can help them. Now they're all three interested in learning more. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back to Teri and say, hey, Teri, thank you so much for introducing me to Cindy, Betty, and Kate. They're great ladies. All three of them are interested in moving forward. But I just wanted to ask you one thing before I take care of them. Have you ever thought of doing what I do? Because, I mean, you've already brought 3 amazing people to my business, and I could just as easily make them the founders of your business. If you'd like to talk a little bit more. Do you guys see where I'm going with this? Your customers are the best source for new customers, and they are the best source for new team members. They're the best source for new team members. And how many of you guys have signed on customers and are like, I'm excited about this. Please don't talk to me about the business. I don't want to be a distributor. I just want the products. Great. Awesome. Great. How many of you, that was you? Yeah, it was you. So respect that, bring them on, treat them well. But as time goes on, this is how you take those. This is how those people might be interested in the concept. Now, not everybody will be. Some people will just want to be advocates. A good friend of mine in my business, when I was doing network marketing, just to clarify, I don't do it now because of conflict with Teamzy thing. But I had this good friend, Shasha. I'd known her for years through my consulting business. She's a real estate broker up in wine country. Amazing person, love her. And she became a customer, and she brought me qualified customers all the time. She said, I don't want to be a distributor. I just love your mission, and I know that you're going to take good care of my friends. She just kept bringing me people. That's fine. How many of you guys wouldn't mind a customer who brings you 10 more customers every year? Yeah. And quite a few of her friends became distributors. That's cool. She didn't want anything to do with it. She just wanted to support me. She was my advocate. Does it make sense? This is the business. I know I went off on a tangent, but I just wanted you guys to understand how incredibly powerful this is to be in regular contact with customers. By the way, canceled people who were customers and have canceled, treat them as if they never canceled. Stay in touch with them. Because people cancel and come back in this business all the time. I order from like 6 or 7 different network marketing companies, and I cancel all the time and come back. Why? Just because I have stuff piled up. Make sense? So when people get behind and they have a bunch of stuff on the shelf, they cancel, and then they end up using it up and they're out, and they mean to order and they don't. They mean to order no. But if you're in regular contact, oh yeah, I'm so glad you contacted me. I need to get back on. I gained those 10 pounds back. I need to get back on the program, right? You guys with me? Okay. So prospects, customers, then third group is your team. This is just connecting with distributors on your team to build relationships, stay in touch, let them know you love them, let them know you're proud of them. Find any reason you can to celebrate them. You got your first customer, congratulations. whatever it is, you ranked up to executive or you got your first customer. I don't care. Be as excited about all of it. Does it make sense? Why am I teaching you about the distributor list? And if you have 1 or 2 people on your team and you're new, it's fine. That's going to be easy now. But as the team grows, this becomes important to stay in touch with people. And this is just kind of like to me, this is obvious, but it's kind of the thing that's not probably going to be taught on corporate trainings. And that's this. The turnover rate is about 50% a year for people building this business. That means 1 out of 2, on average, for 1 out of 2 people you recruit to your team will quit the first year. I mean, the technical term for that is sucky, right? That's not fun. This is a big deal though, because you need to understand, if you're serious about building this business, that's average. That doesn't have to be your team. Make sense? And the way you build your team and you create a team of people who don't want to quit is by relationship. So if you, depending on whether, if you go look at all the social science on what motivates people in the workplace, right? Or if you look at the original book on it, which is the Bible, they agree, by the way, they support each other. There's really only a couple things that motivate people in the workplace. It's not money. Did you know that it's not money? Making more money has never shown a correlation to people working harder or better. It's not money. We think it's money. It's not. Number 1 is recognition, status. Number 2 is relationship, connectedness. So I'm teaching you how to build and recruit for your team, but you also want to keep the people you get. And that's by loving on them, investing in that relationship, letting them know how much you care about them. Does this make sense? And celebrating them as much as you can. Prospects, customers, distributors. The first half of your power hour is just making people's day. Teamzy will say who, they'll help you with what to say and how many you need to do. Done. Easy. You guys see how easy this is? Boom, 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 boom. You get it done. The first half of your power hour, no matter how big your goal is, you should be able to get that done in 30 minutes. Just sending those messages out. Now, hold off on responding if people are coming back immediately till you get all the messages out so you don't get sidetracked. Okay. The second half of your power hour is doing the follow-ups list. Now, the follow-ups list, you don't have to set follow-ups when you message somebody in Teamzy because they're going to come back automatically. So it's based on the star rating you give them. So if you rate somebody 5 stars, they come back every 30 days. You don't have to set a follow-up. They just come back every 30 days. If they're 4 stars, they come back every 60 days. If they're 3 stars, they come back every 90 days. If they're 2 stars, they come back every 120 days. So really the stars are how often you want to talk to people. Make sense? The follow-ups list is where we put people when we've shared. So when we've had a conversation with somebody, we've shared the business model with them, or we've shared a product solution specific to their needs. Now we're following up because it's gone from just making someone's day and having a great conversation and investing in a relationship to now I'm taking care of you professionally. You are now part of my business. Does this make sense? Now it's my professional person. And you guys know what I'm talking about. You've got you as a person, and then you've got when you turn on your professional hat, right? Maybe it's at work. You know, maybe it's at work. How many of you guys have been at work and you're just like bantering with a coworker and then a customer walks up and it's like, hello, ma'am, how can I help you? You know, I'm here to serve you. It's like a different hat we put on, right? So the follow-ups list is your professional hat. Let me show you guys how to do this. Just to give you an example, and I don't have a lot of time to go deep into how to do this, but I messaged Teri. Hi, Teri, how you doing? She's like, oh my gosh, great to hear from you. Mission achieved. I made her day, right? So now I'm like trying to have a conversation with her. How's everything going? Tell me how you've been. How's the, crazy COVID-19 2020 been for you? Right? Send me an update. Tell me what you guys have been doing. So now she's telling me a little bit about her life, her kids, and I'm just asking her questions. Well, what about this? What about that? Just being interested in her. She's telling me, right? And she's going to tell me all about what's going on in her life. And she may ask me, what about you, Eric? Maybe she won't, but it'd be weird if I didn't tell her. So I'm going to tell her what's going on in my life. Well, we've been doing this too, or that. And what would be really natural, she probably told me about work. I'm going to tell her about my business. People are always like, how do you talk about your business without being cheesy? Just tell them, this is what I've been doing and I'm so passionate about it. I don't know if I told you, but I started my own business. It's awesome. It's a home-based business. I help people get healthy and lose weight. It's been so fulfilling. I partnered with a company called Xyngular. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. They're amazing. And, they really helped me, and now I'm paying it forward, helping others. And it's been great. So you just tell people what you're doing and why you're passionate about it. It's that simple. Does it make sense? When you tell people what you're doing and why you're passionate about it in this context, they are always happy for you. Good for you. That's great. Or good for you. I'm proud of you. Okay. Make sense? It's not like I'm waiting for you to now pitch me something. Good for you. I'm proud of you. That's great. Yeah, I'm passionate about helping people. I'm excited about it, whatever. And if somebody's really enthusiastic, like, oh, good for you, just ask them, yeah, let me know if you'd like to learn more. If you'd like to learn more about it, I'd be happy to get you some more information, or we can set up a call. Great. Some people will say yes, some people will say no. The people who say no, no big deal. You're going to keep talking to them on Teamzy over the next several months. They're going to get warmer and warmer and warmer. Okay. She says, yeah, I'd like to learn more. Great. So now I'm going to move Teri. I'm going to get her on a Zoom or get her on a FaceTime or something. In the old days, maybe we'd meet for coffee. I don't know. I live in Southern California. You still really can't do that. You still really can't do that. They're talking about shutting down our hair salons again next week. It's like insane over here. But we could get on a Zoom or something like that, talk, and I could find out what's going on with her and share that business with her. Right. So let me show you how to do it in Teamzy. She's not on my dashboard, so I'm going to use this lookup bar to look her up. All right. I'm just going to show you guys this, and then I'll take questions. Let's see here. So I'm going to look her up. Just a little piece of her name. Well, got a lot of people with T. Go put one more letter in there. There she is. All right. So I'm going to open up that connect box, and I just want you guys to see. Well, first we're going to pick what it was. This was a video chat. I'm just going to put the notes from my Zoom in here so I know what we talked about. And then see where it says share right here in the bottom left. I'm going to click on that because this is going to be moved off of typical connect and to a share. So I'm going to say business opportunity. Okay, great. So as soon as I said share, it activated a follow-up for 2 days from now. Now you can change that to whatever you want. I'm going to change it to tomorrow. Okay. And I'm going to log that. Okay, so once that's logged, now look at our activities feed. You can see there's a follow-up now scheduled for tomorrow. Okay, and you can see everything we've done today is logged. If I toggle over to my dashboard and go to my follow-ups list, there she is on my power hour for tomorrow. Can't screw this up, right? So she's on my follow-ups list. So when I'm talking to her, I say, we're having a great conversation. I say, great, I'm going to send you over, I'm going to send you over an email right now with everything you need, the link to sign up, everything, all the instructions, all the information you need, the fancy videos from corporate, everything, right? And you can sign up. And I'll check in with you tomorrow and see if you have any questions. She says, great. How many people actually do the sign up at that point? It's less than 10%. Less than 10%. How many of you guys have had people like, I'm going to sign up right now, and then you go check the next day and they didn't sign up? It's less than 10%. You didn't do anything wrong, by the way. It's less than 10%. So you always set that follow. I'll follow up tomorrow, see if you have any questions. What I really mean is I'm going to follow up tomorrow because you won't have signed up yet. I'm going to follow up tomorrow and see if you have any questions. So I put her on my follow-ups list. Tomorrow I'm doing my power hour. I connect with my prospects, my customers, my distributors, just sending messages. And then I look to see who I need to follow up with. Oh yeah, I need to follow up with Teri. What do I say? Great, just go to scripts. All my follow-ups are in here too, you guys. Just use them. They're so great. They're so relational. They work great. Look, follow-up number 1. Here it is. Hi, Jane. Just checking in like I promised I would. What questions do you have for me? Okay, great. So there's a few things in that script that it's doing. It's changing the whole tone on following up. I'm going to change the name to Teri. There you. There it is. Ready to send. Okay. Just checking in like I promised I would. I'm keeping my promise to you. I'm not chasing a sale. I'm keeping my promise to you. Does it make sense? I'm here to serve you. This is the way it's designed for her to receive. Now I'm going to look her up. Send her the follow-up message. There she is. Oh, I get that. Those are X's. I see what you guys are doing there. I see what you're doing there in that picture, Teri. All right, here we go. So I've sent her the follow-up message, real simple and easy. Now we're going to log it in Teamzy, watch how this works. And then I'm just going to talk to you real quick about follow-ups and the philosophy behind them, and then we'll do some questions. So when I go to log this as a follow-up, Teamzy is then going to ask me, did this complete the follow-up you had scheduled? And it's checked off. Yeah, it did. But I want to add another follow-up. So let me add another one. Let's say I'll do it like three days from now. Okay, great. I can leave myself a note. It's going to be follow-up number 2. Great. Add that follow-up and then done. So now it's completed that follow-up and I have a new one due on Saturday. Make sense? This is important because the fortune really is in the follow-up and you need to keep following up. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of take you guys to the brink and then bring you back. But 80% of sales happen between the 7th and 10th follow-up. Now, just to clarify, by the time to get her to my follow-ups list, I might have already talked to her 10 times, just chatting. Now she's on my follow-ups list, and it's going to take me 7 to 10 follow-ups to get the sale for 80% of the people. How many of you guys are excited to hear that? So what you need to do is you need to just keep them on that follow-up list. Send the message, follow up, log it, schedule another one. Follow up. Once it comes up again, follow up, schedule another one. Some people will right away within 2 or 3 sign up. Some people will take longer. Now, here's what I want you guys to understand. First off, just to make it easy, I put 10 scripts numbered in order. In Teamzy, you can just use them in order. They've been refined over the past many years. They work amazing. They're not cheesy. They're just relational, letting people know that you love them. Okay. But I want you guys to understand that most people, as you're following up, will not even respond. How many of you guys have had people that have been excited and it's just like crickets? Yeah, I see the hands going up. It's like, what am I doing wrong? And then what happens is you have a team call and Teri says, well, what happened to that great lead you had? And you're like, well, so we grasp to create reasons. Well, I think it's the COVID-19 thing. People are depressed, or I think it's politics, or I think it's the economy, or her husband's a jerk. You know that, right? We all know that. So like that kind of, we start creating these things. But here's what I want you guys to know. People just aren't responding because it's normal. It's just normal that they're not responding. Most people won't respond to 5 or 6 follow-ups, which is twice as many as most people do, before their first response. So it's our job to faithfully stay in touch until they're ready to respond. Now, how many of you guys are already going, that's going to be annoying? I thought we didn't have to be annoying. Who's worried about being annoying on the follow-ups? So let me shift your thinking on this really quick. And then I'm going to teach you how to follow up without being annoying. Then we'll take questions. So here's the first off, how many of you truly, honestly are here because you want to help people? Like you're excited about what you're doing and you really feel like you can help people. Okay, good. So you're the ones I'm talking to. If you didn't feel that way, you didn't raise your hand before, you're not worried about being annoying. This is how we help people, is by following up, because you cannot help them if they haven't made their first purchase, right? You're not going to help them with Xyngular anyways, with this opportunity, until they make that first purchase. So we have to continue to follow up because this is how we help them. So I want to just shift your thinking. This is my mantra. I want you guys to adopt it. Following up is an act of love. Following up is an act of love. If you need to, write it down on a sticky note, put it on your computer corner of your computer screen, put it where you need it. Following up is an act of love. Now, I'm going to teach you how to follow up just really quickly so that you'll never be annoying. People will thank you. Thank you so much for staying in touch. Okay, are you ready? Here's how to do it. Now, if you use my scripts, they already do this. Principle number 1, don't ask them to do anything. Don't ask them to do anything. Don't ask them to respond. Don't ask them to text you. Don't ask them to call you back. Don't get frustrated and go, can you just tell me either way if you're interested or not? Don't ask them to do anything, okay? Don't ask them to do anything. Number 2, keep your message short and sweet so they can read the whole thing without opening the message. They need to just read it on the notification screen. Short and sweet, they can read the whole message without opening it. There's a couple reasons for this. 1, they want to see your message and they want to respond to you. The reason they don't is because messages never come at the right moment. Is this true? They never come at the right moment. You're driving your car, the dog's throwing up on the baby, you're making dinner, whatever. You can't touch your phone. Cindy laughed because probably all 3 of those things happen at the same time, right? This is our life. But what we do have in common is that we want to see what the message is and who it's from. So my hands are elbow deep in raw chicken, making dinner for the family. I'm still going to lean over, try to get my face to unlock the phone enough to see what the message is. We all do this. So if your message is short enough, they can see it on a notification, they get the message. If it's a long message, they're going to get those ... dots. Now they're annoyed because they can't know what it means until they open it. Why won't they open the message? Because they can't respond right now. They don't want you to see they opened it and look like a jerk for not responding. So this is why the majority of your follow-ups won't even be opened, but they will always be read. People are like, what about voice messages? Voice messages can be very annoying because I have to listen to it. And I can't do that. Like, I have 4 kids. So that's like 10 o'clock at night if I remember to come back to your voice message. Does that make sense? Are you guys with me? Yeah. So I mean to, and I want to, it's just I put you off till later. I might not be able to. And then I have to respond because now I had to open it. So just make it easy on them. Just make it so easy on them. What you're doing with these follow-ups is you've had this great conversation. You've said, yes, I will help you. They said, I need your help. And you said, great, I will be here for you. And now you're proving them, you're keeping your promise. You're staying present. You're leveling up on them consistently. Here's what will happen. This is why those numbers were so ridiculously off the charts for 90 days, people using Teamzy and Xyngular, is that you're creating conversations. People, some of those are resulting in a share. Those people are going on the follow-ups list. Every single month, people on that follow-ups list close. Some take 6 months or a year, some take 2 days. But those people on that follow-ups list are closing. They are signing up for the team. They are signing up as customers. And it becomes a consistent thing. Talk about easy to qualify every month. Does this make sense? And that's why I give you a full 30 days free, because you can start building that momentum. You know, it might take a few weeks before you have follow-ups. You might just be doing connects at first because the conversations haven't progressed. By the end of that 30 days, though, you should have people coming onto that follow-ups list. That's your professional list that you are staying in touch with and you're going to help with your business. Does this make sense? It's awesome. It works. Just works. Okay. So let me just show you how to finish them off in Teamzy when they sign up, and then we'll open you guys up to questions. So if I go to Teri's record in Teamzy, I can do a couple of things. First, I'll log a sale when she finally signs up. So just click on sale, it just slides this open. And just, what did she end up starting with, right? So let's say she did ultimate because my call was so amazing. And so I just save it. So Teamzy knows that there was a sale, and then you can add tags, right? You can put in different products that she's using and tag it so that you know all the products that she's using. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to, right here where it says member type, she's a prospect. I'm just going to move her over. So if she became a customer, I'll just click on customer. Now she's a customer in the system. If she became a distributor, then I'll click on that. And then I'll click on personally sponsored. Pretty cool, right? So now she's going to show up on my distributor list. Right? Yeah. When I come in here to distributors, I can even go to personally sponsored, and then I find her on my personally sponsored list. So very cool, cool stuff. Okay. And that's how you take them through. Now, real quick, before we do questions, let me give you guys some action steps. For those of you guys who made it all the way to the end, I wish I had a special cookie or something to give you, but I'm going to give you some work to do. We're making it through. Here we go. Here's your action steps. First off, if you're not already using Teamzy, go get a 30-day free trial. Let your team members that aren't on the call know that they need to get into this 30-day free trial. If you're already in your free trial, set up your subscription now so you don't miss a beat. So there's a special rate for Xyngular. It's unbelievable. Teamzy is typically $30 a month, so $1 a day, which is really inexpensive. But for Xyngular, it's only $19.95 a month because you guys have a special rate that corporate is sponsored. That means it's like 60 cents a day. Think about that. 60 cents to have your day planned. Is that worth it? How much do you guys spend on a cup of coffee? All right. Also, choose a 30-day success partner to do the trial with you. Highly recommend this. 30-day success partner, maybe 2, it's huge. And we do this in our boot camps, and it's super effective. Because without a success partner, you end up just trying it out and like looking at it a couple of times, doing nothing. But if you have a partner that says, yeah, let's do this together and hold each other accountable, you're going to do great. You'll have a great month. What I recommend you do is you take a screenshot each day of your completed dashboard and message it over to your partner. It will be so annoying when you get that message from your partner and you haven't done your Teamzy today. And that annoyance will motivate you more times than not to actually do something. And you'll end up doing a lot more at the end of the month. Does this make sense? We're really wired to help other people more than ourselves. And the last one I'm going to give you, last action step, is a 5-day challenge. I challenge you to use Teamzy 5 days in a row. And in those 5 days, I want you to message 100 people, 20 a day. It's not a big deal. 20 a day for 5 days in a row. Why do I want you to do this? Because I want you to experience how much momentum and energy you can create in just 5 days. I want you to never believe the stories that you may tell yourself, or maybe have heard yourself telling yourself ever again, that you can't make things happen. What will happen in these 5 days is that you will feel hair on fire busy. Your phone will be blowing up. You will be like, oh my gosh, why did I get into this? How do I manage this? I'm losing my mind messaging people. That's okay. I just want you to know that you guys can do that. You can create that in just 5 days. Does this make sense? And I'll give you guys a couple tips so that it's not so insane, because you will get great response, especially if you start with your better relationships, your 5- and 4-star people, when you start doing this. My recommendation is that you set aside some time in the day just to respond to messages. Don't make it an all-day thing. Okay? How many of you guys have jobs, like normal jobs, in addition to your business? So I did too when I started mine. So what I did was I did my power hour in the morning before work, and then I answered messages during part of my lunch hour, and I answered messages in the evening. And I tried to ignore my phone the rest of the day. And then I would just go to my messages, sort by unread, and just work my way down. Make sense? You can manage things a little bit better there. There's a little tip for you. Okay, you guys got these action steps? Okay, great. Cool. So here's what we'll do. If you guys have questions, I want you to feel free to ask. Just go ahead and unmute your microphone and ask away, and I will do my best to answer anything.
I had a question.
Okay. Oh, you beat me to it. There you go.
I had a question.
Okay, it looks like Rachel's up.
Okay, I'll go. I just have a quick question. I'm curious if there is a game plan on putting our numbers in, like logging our numbers every single day. If that, just to kind of see, to be able to look back and see the increments for each day and just knowing where we're at every single day.
Which numbers do you mean? Your Teamzy numbers, or what numbers are you talking about, Rachel?
So we track, we're all point value. Everything's a point value depending on what number you're at, you know, that's your rank.
So like your volume and points from Xyngular.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I would be happy to do that. That just would mean integrating with Xyngular's back office, which we haven't gotten that far down the road with them yet. So at some point that would be cool. But so as of now, you would still check that on your back office, right? And Teamzy would be, but what you can track in Teamzy is your activity, your lead generating activity. So the most important thing to track, now it's important to know your results, but the most important thing to track is your activity, because we cannot control the results, but we can control the activity. Does this make sense? And when you do the activity, the results always follow. It's not a direct line, but it always follows. And so, for example, in my consulting business, we would track activity. We track activity, lead generating activity, right? So if I was consulting you, let's say you were an attorney and you wanted to grow your business, I would track your outgoing activity. And if you said business is slow, I would say pull up the activity from 90 days ago. Oh, that's when I was in the Bahamas for 3 weeks. That's why your business is slow this month, right? So it's just, it tracks the activity. So we make sure that we're focused on what we're doing, the positive things. So it's a great question, and I would love to have that integrate. Hopefully down the road, as our relationship with Xyngular grows, we'll be able to do more integration like that. But as of right now, they're still separate. Okay, what other question?
This is Tracy Martin. And
Hey, Tracy.
hi. Can you sort and then send a group message? Like if you have a team and you want to get a message out to the whole team, it's the same message?
You can sort groups in Teamzy using the tag function, but Teamzy doesn't do group messaging. It's only individual messaging. And that's kind of by design.
And then I had one other.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is there any way to like put the date in and then it brings you back and shows you like a summary of what you've done?
Yeah, let me show you that. That's pretty cool. And that actually, so there's a couple things. One thing that Teamzy does, which is really cool, we didn't talk about today, is the team report. The team report, so you can see here's me and here's my connects for today, right? But I can look at any sort of date range that I want to do, any date, and I can see what my activity is. But it's not just me. So this shows me my activity, how many connects I did, follow-up shares, things like that. But also I can add team members. So I can invite my entire team by clicking this, and it would email everybody that you have in Teamzy an invitation to join your team report. And then you would see everybody's stats. This is so huge. And I do this in my boot camps. I have a team report and I do a leaderboard every week, and people go crazy to get on that leaderboard. And I look at who's performing and who's not, and not based on the results, like we were just talking about with Rachel, but based on what they're putting into the business, right? So it's really cool. So you can see what kind of work you did. Now, if you want specifically to see who did I reach out to and what did I say, then that is our activity report. If you're on the dashboard, you can see right here where it says activity history. So I can click on this and you can see specifically what you did for any day, and you can then filter it. Okay, so if you wanted to look at a specific time, you can see who I connected with. And Mackenzie, this is the question you asked me in the beginning. Are you still here? Mackenzie, you still here? So here's, okay, you are still here. Okay, great. So this is the question you asked me. I can filter this report by just shares, let's say. So then I can just say, okay, here are the shares. And you could do it for a date range. So who are the people this week that I did shares with, right? And then you can filter it. And so then I could just see, okay, well, here are the people I shared with.
Okay.
Oh, well, I meant to log a share with Mackenzie, I didn't. Or you could come in and you could go, okay, connects and shares. Okay, and then you could see right here, see where it says business opportunity. You could see that, oh, well, I connected with Jay, but I didn't share anything with her.
Cool.
So I think that's what you were looking for, was a way to go back and just make sure that you logged it if you did it.
Yeah, without checking their name a bunch of times, because I'm like you, I just go really fast.
Right. And I have to tell you that Teamzy is like the minimum amount, I should say minimum amount you need and the maximum amount of tracking I'm willing to do. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you don't want to get stuck doing busy work. You want to keep moving forward doing productive work.
Hey, Eric, can I ask something kind of bouncing off what Rachel said, which is why I tried to sneak in there. So instead of actually having the CRM like connected with our back office, would it be possible to add kind of the same way that we add our own rank, like a space where we put our points for the day so that we can just like have it in front of our face all in one spot? Because I know for me, like adding additional dailies has been super, super like good for my consistency as far as like different things like adding Facebook friends, things like that. And I literally go through them each day. And I write my numbers and stuff on a whiteboard, but just having it all in one space without them even having to be connected, would that be a possibility?
Definitely a possibility. Now you do have the ability to add commission checks to Teamzy, so you can track income. That's there already, and you can do it on the business page. You can just put in your income as it goes. That's so you can track your income goal. Yeah, I can definitely recommend that and see if that's something that we could do for you guys. One thing you could do though is if you have a goal for points for a day, you just gave me this idea, Mackenzie, is you could actually set that as one of your dailies. So like hit today's points goal and then check it off, something like that. So that's one thing you can do. The dailies right here that she's talking about, you guys, are right here. And these four dailies are system, which means these are 4 things we know you have to do to be successful. So they're always there. So posting on social, personal development work, using your products, doing some exercise. But then you can add dailies. So click on edit, you can add dailies. So like, for example, maybe you do a daily devotional. Great, so you could save that. It sounds like Mackenzie has add Facebook friends as one of hers. So great. So then you've got those new dailies. So when you go back to your dashboard, you now have these new dailies you can check off. So these are just things to put in front of your face, as she said. Like, I need to do these to be successful. right? I had people, it's funny, I was doing a call like this for a company that sells makeup, and they were like, why do we need exercise? We're a makeup company. It's like, because if you look, all the studies show that 20, 30 minutes of daily exercise help you be more successful in business. If you guys didn't know that, now you do. It's important. We need to do that. It's a reminder. We all know that we need to do it. It helps your mind work. It helps you be more energetic, helps you be more exciting, helps you be more inviting to other people when you're feeling good. So, all right. What are the questions people have?
Hi, this is Shannon. I was just wondering if there's any way, I know we can connect on Teamzy with our team, our upline and downline, but is there any way that they can be linked so that, okay, so when my upline connects with one of my customers or somebody who I'm chatting with as a potential client, if it will link so that I can see what she said to them, or like it will set my own follow-up out because she just connected with him today too.
Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying. No, it doesn't. It can't do that because of the way we've set the security. It can't share data like that. That's just going to come down to you guys communicating with each other. But I hear what you're saying. Yeah, so we can share, like you give permission for us to share how many connects you made, but your upline cannot see anyone's name or add or email or phone in your system because it's secure data. Does that make sense? So nobody but you can see the data in Teamzy, and we keep that. I mean, that's hugely important that it's super secure like that. So so we wouldn't be able to do that, Shannon. That is a cool idea though.
So
I can
Eric,
see certain businesses where you would do that, but because you guys are independent, even though you're on a team, like you're independent businesses, I don't think we could do that legally.
hey Eric, Shannon's on my team, and so we had this discussion earlier today because I track every conversation I'm in, whether it's Shannon's person, Brittany's person, Tiffany's person, whatever, no matter what. And I've been able to, like, you know, save a lot of follow-up situations in that case, especially with people that don't use Teamzy. But Shannon is super, super active. And so for me, typically I just go in and change my follow-up date if she chimes in on a chat because she's on it. And so I think that's kind of what brought it full circle, if that helps at all with just like background.
Yes, you guys are like on a group chat together. Oh yeah. Yeah. So if you're on a group chat, then Shannon, then you know that Mackenzie messaged your person or vice versa in that situation. I mean, you could hypothetically go in and log. It just depends on how you guys work the business. You could log that in your Teamzy and say Mackenzie messaged her, you know, and that resets her for another 30 days or whatever. It just depends on if if that's good enough for you, if that's you building the relationship, if you guys are teaming up, and that's cool. Does that make sense? So like, I know there's teams that work, a couple might work, husband and wife might work the business together, right? I'm sure there's people like that on this call. And when I was doing my business, my wife did the business with me, which really helped, even though I did 90% of it. I presented it as if we were working together always. And this really helped me reach out to women so they didn't think I was flirting with them, right? So it was always Eric and Lisa. Same thing for her. If she was talking to a man, it was always Eric and Lisa. Like we were together, Eric and Lisa. And so, so if Lisa reached out, it was the same as if I reached out, and it reset us. Does that make sense? So just depending on how closely you work, you can do it that way, where it's like, okay, well, I don't need to talk to this person for 30 days because Mackenzie did. So I would say that that's kind of a case by case and depends on the relationship and how you guys are working the business together, if that makes sense. So, but yeah, I mean, Mackenzie's already got dialed in. She sees you connect, she moves out her follow-up.
Okay, I have a question.
Go for it.
You actually answered part of it, but I have a second part to it. The question was, how do I move a prospect to a customer? And you showed that. But when I go back on the prospect, that same name is on the prospect. Is that supposed to be that way, or am I not doing it right?
It will not be there once you've clicked that customer button. And the only reason is if you have a duplicate, if you have them in your system twice.
Okay.
If you've created a duplicate. Now, if you do have duplicates, then there's a merge tool where you can merge them. So look, just for example, let me show you. Teamzy won't create duplicates automatically, but you can do it by accident. So let's say I had 2 Bettys in my thing. If I put in Betty, it would actually, I would see there would be 2 Bettys in the dropdown if they were duplicate. That's like how you can tell. Okay. And so if you do have a duplicate, what you do is you go over to your team page. You could just choose to delete one of them also, right? You could just delete the one you don't need. That's the easiest thing. But if you want to merge them, you go over here to tools on the team page and you click on merge contacts. So then I would put in Betty here, which I don't have, but you get the idea. I'd put in Betty here and I'd get that duplicate. And then it would ask me which data points to keep, and then it would merge them into one. It's a pretty cool way to do it. Most often though, you probably can just delete the one you don't need. You just hit the trash can next to their name and delete them. But if you click on customer, absolutely, they've moved to the customer list. There's no way they're still on your prospects list. So if you still see them there, then there's a duplicate contact.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Sure thing. It's funny because one of the things I've learned, and I'm not a techie person, but having now been running this company almost 5 years, I've learned a lot from the engineers. There's certain things in the code that are 100% true all the time because it's programmed that way. And we think of computers like people that can just like randomly glitch and they can do something a million times, then 1,000,001 they don't do it that way, but they don't work that way. They once something's programmed a certain way, it's always that way. Now we can program something else which causes something to break, but that's one good thing, Betty. I know that when you click that customer button, they've moved lists. Any other questions?
Hey, Eric, it's Tammy Dennis.
Hi, Tammy.
Hi there. Hey, I have 2 questions.
Okay.
And ask my first one that I think will probably be a longer answer first.
Okay.
Actually, the one with the shorter answer first. Do you guys have, so you're set up with Xyngular. So when we go in, we hit Xyngular. Do you actually have Teamzy programmed for the Xyngular comp plan to know exactly how many people we should be reaching out to for contacts? Or is it just kind of the law of average?
It's more of a, yeah, it's not specific to the Teamzy, to the comp plan. It's just in general, we've seen this type of result. And so we've looked at, the Xyngular comp plan, the comp plans vary a little bit, but based on the activity you do, it's generally in the right ballpark. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. And then my next question is thoughts on putting the name Xyngular on our wall. Being a Xyngular Gold Director, I work for Xyngular, talking about Xyngular, the name on our wall.
You mean your rank?
Like any of it, just like if somebody goes to my wall, they're going to see that Tammy is with the company Xyngular.
Oh, okay. You're asking about your
your
social media, Facebook
yes.
profile. Okay. And okay, go on. What was the question about it?
So my question is, should we be saying on our wall that we're with Xyngular or not?
Yes. Okay. You just happen to scratch an itch of mine that I love to talk about.
I was hoping.
This is my opinion. And the reason I say that is because very many people in our industry will disagree with me. But of course, I think they're totally cheesy and salesy. And so that's why I disagree with them. Yes, you should. Absolutely, you should. Why wouldn't you? This is your business. They should know exactly who you are and what you do. Anything less is disingenuous. So here's the thing. Let me just address this head on, because you guys will go to conventions and you'll hear people teach on this because I have. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I remember we were sitting with my business partner, Mike Lopez. We were at a convention, and this was about 5 years ago. It was the first time I'd ever heard someone train on this whole creating curiosity thing. And it was like, don't tell them what you do. Don't even tell them exactly what your business is, because until they're interested. And it's like, message me to find, and I see this all the time, message me, PM me to find out the name of the company or that I'm worth or whatever. It's like, why would I do that? Tell me, just tell me if it's worth my time. Now, this is just how I'm wired. To me, it's like your business is something you're proud of. How many of you guys are proud to represent Xyngular? So you don't hide what you're proud of, you hide what you're ashamed of. If you're ashamed of being in network marketing, that's something to work on in your personal development. Does it make sense? So we want to be proud of what we do. I'm a distributor for Xyngular. It's awesome. This is what I do. This is why I do it. This is why it's a passion project for me. Does this make sense? So, and here's the thing, the objections to this are, well, as soon as somebody knows it's Xyngular, now they're going to Google and find, Joanne Smith had a bad review from Topeka, Kansas in 1996. And the internet's out there. Your people have access to every bit of information in the world. People need someone they can trust. They need trusted advisors in their life. They need, does this make sense? Because all the information's there. Sales used to be about controlling the information. Now it's about making sense of the information. Well, I know there's 100 people out there selling shakes and selling supplements. What is it about this? Well, I know Tammy. I know she's good people, right? Let me ask her. Does this make sense? So it comes down to personal relationship. It comes down to having to trust somebody they trust who can make sense of all the information out there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get. Yeah, absolutely. I totally get it. And I'm so been on the fence the last little bit about this. Again, Google, you can go on Google and go buy Xyngular products on Amazon. You're not supposed to be able to, but they do.
Yeah.
And and then they don't get the coaching, they don't get the 100% money back guarantee,
Right.
None of that stuff. So it's like, and they might even be complete expired products, to where is that really given to me, that's more of a disservice than not putting Xyngular on my wall. And that's why I've been so on the fence.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is first of all, none of your friends are going to go to Google and buy Xyngular if they know you're selling Xyngular. Does this make sense? They're gonna message you and ask questions. But if they don't know you're doing this and they find out Xyngular's awesome, they're not going to buy it from you. They're going to go to someone else, and they may not get the same service that you'd provide. Does it make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll put it this way. If you're proud to represent Xyngular proudly. Put it out there. I mean, look, I was just on Teri's Facebook page, and there's a bunch of you ladies with the big X. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about what's going on with these people. They're into it. So yeah, just be proud of it. Just be proud of it. Put it out there. But your goal now in your social media and your goal in your interactions is to educate people on what it means. What does this mean? Why are you passionate about it? What is so special about it? And you're going to start educating people more and more about that. Now, what is annoying and what people hate is when somebody turns their social platform into just a big ad. That's just like, buy. Please just buy something from me. Nobody wants to see that. So it's going to be about value, and it's going to be about service. It's going to be about your coaching. It's going to be about your heart to serve people. It's going to be about the people who've already had great results because of your love for them. Does this make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not a mystery. It's not a mystery how I helped my friend lose weight. It's not a mystery about it. No, it's Xyngular. I work with Xyngular.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I encourage you, don't be in secret. Bring it out in the open. Now, like I said, some people will disagree with me, but those people would never get me as a customer. They would never get me as a customer. I'm like, forget it. If you can't even tell me what business is, that's weird. Moving on, right? So tell them that you're there. And
I always send a message, always. I just don't blast. I mean, the first thing I say, oh my gosh, it's Xyngular. Have you heard of it yet? always, but
Yeah.
not on my Facebook wall.
Yeah, I would put it, I would put it on there. I would have it on there. Hopefully that helps.
Thank you.
Sure thing. Any other
Eric,
questions? Yes.
I have something, Eric. So I'm a person who micromanages and I can be too detailed. So as I was learning Teamzy in the beginning and logging, this is a lot about the efficient use of my logging.
Yeah.
So copy and pasting the message that I send to my customers and prospects. Is there an advantage to doing that in Teamzy or just making a comment that I made a post and go to the messenger? Because if Facebook ever went away, I wouldn't have my interactions. So, it's kind of like you've got your scripts that we copied, but when I have a conversation, sometimes I'll copy the whole and put it in Teamzy. Is there an advantage to doing that? Or for time's sake, is it better to do something more abbreviated?
Yeah. Look, it's a great question. I'm glad you asked it. When I had a job and worked for somebody else, I was required to log everything that I did with the customers in CRM. How many of you guys have to do that at work now? So I was required, all the back and forth had to be logged in the CRM. The records had to be there. When I started doing my own business in Teamzy, I tried to do the same thing. And then I found that I was like, I don't want to go back and log all that back and forth. I got to move forward and connect with more people. So it was kind of striking the balance between the two. So here's what I came to. Now, there are some of you who are wired where it's going to make you crazy if you don't log all of it in Teamzy. You just want to be meticulous, and that's okay. We have different places of giftedness in the world. That's okay. But if you're like me and you're like, this is a drag, having to log all this back and forth. The most important thing is that you log when you do an outgoing connect. So like when you initiate that conversation, when you get that prompt in Teamzy, this person's up, and you send them a message, log it. This is important because it resets their clock in Teamzy. So Teri comes up on my dashboard, I send her a message, I log that outgoing message, her clock is now reset 30, 60, 90 days, depending on her rank. Now she responds and we have a back and forth over the next 5 days. I don't need to log every one of those because this conversation will go somewhere, or maybe it will progress to a follow-up where now she's on my follow-ups list, which takes her out of the Teamzy clock completely. When she's on the follow-ups list, she's no longer in the cycle, right? She's just on my follow-ups list. Or this conversation will fizzle out over the next 5 to 7 days, and she still comes back in 60 days like she's supposed to. What logging that first thing does is it makes sure I don't mess up and drop her through the cracks.
Okay.
Does this make sense? So the back and forth doesn't matter. Now,
okay.
What I found myself doing, Teri, is when in 60 days, when you came up again and I pulled up Facebook Messenger, then I would see that I would just go ahead and paste that whole conversation into the last connect. I would edit the original connect and paste the whole conversation in right then. So when I came back later, that's when I kind of did the record keeping. So that's one way to do it. So you don't have to go back. Does that make sense? So it's just kind of in your power hour. It's like choop, 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 done. The other thing that you want to log is when you do a follow-up, you want to log the follow-up and set a new one. Okay, so it's important so that we know, like, okay, now we know we're on follow-up number 4, we're on follow-up number 5. Mm-hmm. So you know where you are in the sequence. Does that make sense? So those are the 2 places you want to make sure you log: the initiating of the conversation, and if you log a follow-up or a share, that's another time to log. If you log a share, then you log that, and then the follow-ups you log. But you don't have to do all the back and forths.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, great. No meaning of life questions. It's good. All right, I should probably bless you guys and send you on your way. We've kept you too long. I know some of you are on the East Coast, right? Oh, it's time for bed. But I really appreciate you. Man, I appreciate you guys hanging in so long. Hopefully, this was some good value for you. I'm excited to have you guys be part of our Teamzy family. Of course, I hope this tool can really help you get your business to the next level. Help your teams get your business to the next level. We built this so that you love it and want to do it forever, and that's what our hopes are. So I just want to say thank you, Teri, for setting up the call. Thank you, all of you guys who are already part of the Teamzy family. For the rest of you, welcome to the Teamzy family. God bless you guys and have a good night.
Thank you.
Yes, there you go. I love it.